Hello everyone, welcome back to Jenna Voice. If you watched my last video I put up, I have announced what I'm doing this summer. I'm heading to the Miami Music Festival to sing an Ariadne off Noxo, so I'm really very excited for this opportunity. And so next I wanted to kind of lay out for you guys a bit of hard reality about this program and many programs like this. Like the program I did last summer, it is pay to sing. It's not free or pays me to sing. I have to pay to go and participate in the program, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's just how a lot of these kinds of programs are. So I just wanted to kind of tell you guys how much I'm paying for this program, how I'm paying for it, and maybe tips and tricks that I can share with you guys if you're heading to a program like this summer. So once I was accepted into the program, attached to my acceptance email, I had a couple of attachments with more information about the program, and part of that included the payment structure for the program, what tuition was, what room and board was, meals, all those sorts of things. So it was helpful to plan ahead because they had different deadlines. They broke down the tuition into 3 different payments and then had another deadline for housing and meals, whatever you plan to do with that. So right off the bat, the first thing that was due is my registration fee. I had to pay a fee just saying, hey, I'm committed, I'm really wanting to do this program. And I was a little bit disappointed because I had to pay that before finding out what my role was. I knew I was accepted into the program, but I didn't know what my role assignment was, and that made me a bit weary, but I sent the money and that was a $250 payment. And then next, the first tuition payment was $500, which was due I think a couple of weeks after that. Yeah, those were spaced apart. And then the second tuition payment was $1,500, again spaced between the first payment and the registration fee. I ended up just bundling the first and second payment together just to get it out of the way. And then the third payment, which I still have yet to pay, is another $1,500, and that's due, I believe, May 15th. So I have just a little bit more time with that one. And then I've also paid my housing and meals fee, and they had some different options for that. You could request to do a singles or a doubles dorm. I'm gonna be staying in a dorm on a Miami campus. And then you could request whether you wanted meals and linens included in your package. And I opted for a doubles dorm because it was less expensive. I opted for meals because I was gonna be on campus. I wasn't gonna have a car. I'm not gonna have a car, so I can't really drive around to get myself food. And I opted to not have linens. I'm just gonna bring those with me. So I think I kind of chose the least expensive option for not being a Miami resident and not having a car. And that package was $1,535. I know, rather expensive, I have to say, for staying in a dorm with another person. I think that was a bit pricey, but I don't know what the price of college is in Miami. Maybe it's just a lot more expensive than what I've experienced back home in Wisconsin. That was the last time I really lived on a college campus, so anyway, it's kind of what I had to do in my situation. If I, had a car, I may have looked into renting an Airbnb. That probably would have been cheaper, but I just don't have that option. I am flying there. And luckily I have a patron who has offered to help me with my transportation to and from the program. So they helped cover my flight expenses, which was a huge weight off of my shoulders. They also gave me a very generous donation of $500, which helped cover my first tuition payment. But that also leaves a lot more money that I still have to cover for myself. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, how the heck are you covering that? How the heck are you paying for that? Well, I have a few ways that I manage paying for programs like these. First of all, I think it is extremely helpful that they break down tuition payments and spread them out a little bit, so I don't all of it in 1 month, you know, one lump sum, which I think would make it so much harder to pay for all of that while paying rent and other bills that I have to cover on a monthly basis. So that, first of all, was very helpful. Secondly, they did include a 3% service charge in that amount that those dollar amounts that I've been mentioning. If you pay online, I opted to send checks in the mail to save just that little extra money, but when we're talking about thousands of dollars, it really does add up a bit. So that was one little way that I've been saving money. And another big thing that has been helpful is this program happened right around tax season, so I just got a very nice tax return, and that covered a big payment for my tuition. Next, what I've been doing, I mentioned I've been working quite a bit. I work the most amount of hours that I'm allowed at my day job. I just did Pagliacci, so that was a little extra money there. So I've had some extra money kind of building up over the past month or two because I've been working a little bit more, because I've been making some extra bonuses at my job depending on how much I sell in tickets, which has helped me quite a bit with covering those expenses. And then of course, another thing that I do for these kinds of programs is I fundraise. I've started up another You Caring page. I did one last year for my program in Italy, and it helped me quite a bit. I by no means raised all of my money for the program through the fundraising, but it ended up last year at least covering like a third of the money that I was needing for that program. So I still have about a month left before I leave for this program, so I still have some time to build up more donations with the fundraising that I've started so far. Right now I've just raised a bit over $600, I believe, so I've still got a long ways to go. I will leave a link to my fundraising page in the description if you guys want to check it out, if you're just curious about how I've laid it out. The information that I've put on it. I know I have a variety of viewers on this channel, so if any of you are in a position where you can make a donation, even $10 makes a great difference. It does add up. I have so many people that donated last year in the $10 to $20 range, and that made up so much of my donation amount. So if you guys are able to help, I would so appreciate it. But of course, I understand many of you are in my position where you're in school or you're getting ready for similar programs and needing to raise your own money. So don't feel obligated in any way to make a donation. But if you are able to, that's awesome. And I thank you so very much for that. So that's pretty much how I'm raising / preparing financially for this program. There are certainly other ways to fundraise and build an extra income for these sorts of programs. The two biggest ones that I can think of course, are getting another part-time job if you're able to, doing some sort of fundraising recital is an awesome idea if you're able to do that. I honestly just don't have the time right now with the auditioning that I've been doing and Pagliacci. I don't have the time to build up enough new repertoire to put a recital together, so I don't feel like that's a realistic option for me right now, but I wish I could. I think it's really important for singers to put on recitals and sing for money, but if you're able to do that, that's awesome. And then lastly, applying for grants and scholarships through a variety of different resources. There are funds set up from different states and different schools and different organizations that help artists and singers with fundraising, with different projects and programs they're trying to go to. So if you can find one that you think you are eligible to apply for and you can get even just some money to raise for your program, whatever you're doing, definitely go for it. just keep in mind those sorts of scholarships and grants can be rather competitive, so it's not a guarantee that you'll receive money from them. You usually need to fill out an application, get letters of recommendation, go through a screening process. There can be a lot of different hoops to jump through because you're asking for money. They need to make sure that you are deserving, and sometimes it can be difficult when they only have a limited amount of funds to give and they have a lot of people applying. So look at your options out there, see if there's something that you can apply for, and if you can get some money, that's awesome, go for it. I'm not seeing anything that's really that I think will work for me at this point. Honestly, this sounds strange, but I think I'll be able to manage the program financially with what I'm doing right now, with the fundraising, with working the extra time that I have. And I don't want to feel like I have to, how do I want to say this? I don't want to apply for a grant that somebody might need more than me, if that makes sense. And I kind of feel in that position because I am working now. I'm able to help myself a little bit more. That doesn't mean I never need help. I still get financial help from my parents when I need it, depending on the month, depending on projects that I'm working on and different auditions. They still help me financially with other things, and I know other singers don't always have those resources. So if you're somebody who would really benefit from grants and scholarships for these sorts of programs, definitely apply. I'm not trying to deter anybody from doing that. You have to do what feels right for you. But I feel like at this point, especially since it's only a month away now, I just need to stick the course with what I've been doing and just do the best that I can with those resources. So that's kind of just what I'm up to now, how I've planned for this program. Like I mentioned a little bit in my last video, the timeline for everything that happened between applying, auditioning, and hearing back from the program was very quick, and now the program's like a month now away. It all happened very quickly, so I wouldn't say there was as much time as I had hoped for to plan financially for this program, but I feel pretty secure in what I have going on right now, what I've been doing the past couple of months. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys if you're getting ready for a big summer program and you're feeling overwhelmed by the tuition costs, the travel costs, all those sorts of things. Do look into your different options. Get creative for raising money. I really believe in you guys. I think I made a similar video to this for last summer, what I was doing. So if I did, I'll try to find that video and link it at the end of this if you're curious to watch that as well. Make sure you check out my page down below if you're interested in more information on how I'm fundraising, and if you'd like to make a donation, that's awesome too. So if you like these sorts of videos, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on different ways that you're fundraising. If you're doing that for a program, I'd love to hear different ideas on how you plan for a big program. And make sure you are subscribed if you'd like to keep up with more videos like this one, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.